Hi everybody, you're listening to the Khandaan podcast by the You Podcast team, a bi-weekly podcast revisiting the movies of Amir Khan, Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan.
Every show we pick a random year from 3 decades of collectively 300 films the Khans have done and let our listeners vote which movie we should talk about. So it's entirely up to you.
Pick a team, make a vote, take us down nostalgia lane, punish us, or make us reassess a movie we dismissed.
We love the Khans, most of us, sometimes. And we would love for you all to be part of our Khandaan, because when it comes to the Khans in Bollywood, nothing else really matters.
How are you, Pitu?
Well, like I said, I'm having a pretty bad morning because I forgot what time we were supposed to do the podcast. So I began my morning at 6:30 a.m. with Hello Brother. So I am very grumpy right now.
Sujoy, will you take responsibility for this?
Yes, I will take responsibility for messing up with the time zones and stuff. I wrote 9 p.m. instead of 9 a.m.
But also, you have to take certain responsibility to choosing Hello Brother as a movie though, right? Like, I think...
Okay.
I laid out the cards and Hello Brother was one of them.
Yeah.
Pitu was the one to choose either Hello Brother or Judwa. Which is basically, the Hello Brother Telugu movie is the original of Judwa. So by choosing Hello Brother, that was it.
So I have to tell you guys, my cousin Tupu, whenever I'm on this podcast or anything else I'm doing, she always checks stuff out. So she does it out of like a sense of farz ki acha meri cousin hai to mujhe to usko support karna hi padega, duniya to karti nahi hai, like that. And she's very wonderful. And I told her, okay, I'm going to be on Khandaan again this Sunday. So she goes, oh, which movie are you choosing? So then I told her we're doing Hello Brother. So she got very upset with all of you guys. She had a lot of righteous indignation. So she was like, why do these people always give you bad movies? Like, it's like Mela and Khandaan and all, like all these terrible films. Like, what is wrong with these people? So she felt ki, you guys are imposing on me. So I said, no, it's not their fault. They gave me a list. It had very good films. It had Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam. It had like really good films in it, yeah. I am the one who picked Hello Brother. She was speechless. She was sending me like caps lock hate messages and everything.
And you also wrote like, Tupu, you should know me by now.
I know, like you're my cousin. At this point, are you expecting me to have good taste? Like, no, I'm not that person.
Also, like we get like a lot of like, renowned critics on celebrities and stuff, and they tend to pick certain movies we know they're gonna pick, like, like the Dil Chahta Hai and these kind of Dil Se Chak De, these kind of things. But there's like a certain pocket of Khan movies that we reserve for Pitu.
Yeah, for sure.
कि और कोई नहीं, सिर्फ पीतू ही देखेगी हमारे साथ ही.
मतलब दुनिया ब्लॉक कर देगी हमें अगर हमें ये मूवी सजेस्ट किया तो.
In fact, I was Chandi Ki Dal Pe Sone Ka More is one of my favorite est songs of all time. It is like amazing.
It's so good.
And I remember like just a few months ago, I was listening to it again on YouTube, and I had texted my cousin and I was like, oh my God, Tupu, do you remember when we were in school, like in high school and stuff, and we used to sing and dance on this song, Good Times, Good Times. And she replies back and she's like, I literally never liked this song and I do not remember singing and dancing on it with you. I was like, oh, I guess it was just me then. All right, never mind.
You just bullied everybody into liking Hello Brother for you.
It just kind of boggled my mind that there are people who did not sing and dance on Chandi Ki Dal Pe Sone Ka More. Like, come on. It is so good.
It's so good.
I could actually do an entire episode on just that one song.
Yes.
Because there's so much to talk about. Like, I can't wait until we start discussing it.
See, when I hear Pitu talk like this, I sometimes wonder how come we weren't friends before. Like we are along the same lines on so many issues, but then we deviate very vastly too.
No, we don't deviate ourselves. We are always on the same line, I feel.
We are. Do you know, by the way, Pitu, how much people have been demanding for your return on the podcast? Have I told you this? I've told you a few times on Insta, right? Like how many times we get it? Yeah.
I'm very pleased with my fandom. Thank you.
Yeah. You
I
serve
guess
a
it was
niche.
worth it to have like 4 hours of sleep and this watch Hello Brother in my kitchen, waking up and watching Razak Khan doing whatever shit he's doing. I do it for the fans.
Only fans.
Yes.
Oh God. Amrita, did you survive? Like, I was worried about you today.
Yeah.
Actually, like, this was actually the pick-me-up that I needed.
Oh, God.
It's so stupid.
It's so Oh my
Like,
God.
I didn't have to think. I didn't have to do anything. Like, all I needed to do is like just watch it. And I was like, this is perfect. Like, it demands nothing of me whatsoever. And I'd forgotten so much of it. Like, I haven't seen this movie in years and years and years. So
Yeah.
it was perfect, actually.
Yeah. So yeah, we Pitu probably doesn't know, but we split up our episodes. So technically, the people that are listening now, the Hello Brother fun will be happening in the next episode. Now we're doing kind of like a catch up and things that we've been watching and all that kind of thing. So let's start with that. I mean, I think let's do our moment at least to talk about the passing of SP Bala. Right? We need to, I think we need to acknowledge it because, and also acknowledge it in the Khandaan way that we do. We're not going to be the most eloquent, well-spoken, poetic people about somebody who's passing. But basically how I summarize it is, if there was no SP Bala, I wouldn't be a Salman Khan fan to the extent I am, and there would not be Khandaan podcast. Like, I think all of that is, that's how important he was. And we've spoken about him many, many times. Even when we were having, we had Get Filmy on and we were talking about love, which I think we waxed eloquently about just SP Bala for a very long time. And normally I would ask Sujoy to now do an impression, but I don't feel this is the right moment to do this, unfortunately.
But we have all done that, and like SP Balasubramaniam's voice is that iconic. You do a Kishore Kumar impression or a Mohammad Rafi impression, and you do an SP Balasubramaniam impression. He is definitely one of the greats, and it's the end of an era, as it were. In the on the globe of Indian music, it's monumental. Like I don't know. I have no words to articulate how I feel about his passing, and damn you, COVID,
Like, he really was the soundtrack of all our lives for such a long time, like my entire childhood. Because for me, it wasn't just even Hindi film. It was also like Tamil films, like I grew up just listening to his voice. And like the songs that like still make me cry from like the 80s and the 90s. Like, those are the songs that he sang, like it's impossible not to feel when he's singing. It's such a rich chocolate voice. And it just sort of hits every emotion that, whether it's and he could do that thing that Kishore did. I think after Kishore, he was like the only other singer who could act in his singing. So like when you were watching him and he was like singing, like it was a proper performance, like you could just really feel all the emotions and stuff. And it was very old school in that way. Like and he's spoken before about like how he was such a big admirer of Rafi, for example. And, like he really modeled his career on that. And it really showed in his performances. And I was just reading, like, I knew how prolific he had been in his career, but I didn't know exactly how prolific. And I was reading about how he had recorded like 40,000 plus songs. And I was like, like, if you just convert, I actually did the math because I was like, that is an insane number. And I actually did the math, and like, if you look at his life, like, he was alive for like 27,000 plus days. So he was like, he recorded like multiples a day. And I think Rahman has spoken about this before, that you could just give him a song and in like 10 minutes he would have learnt it and he would be ready to record, which is insane. Like, how musically talented do you have to be as a human being to do something like that? He's just tremendous.
just if you talk about the numbers itself, he holds the records for the most number of songs, obviously over 40,000 songs. But also he recorded 21 songs in a single day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So it's crazy.
No, and the thing is, like, he didn't, like, it's not like he did 21 songs in a day and therefore he just half-assed it, you know? It's not like that. Like, each of those songs would have been amazing. Like, he gave 100% to each of those songs. Anyway, you were saying, Pitu?
Oh, I was saying I definitely had my SPB moment yesterday because I had been listening to his Hum Aapke Hain Kaun songs and everything, and I took my dog for like this amazing cliffside hike in San Francisco, and there was this moment where she was like so happy, and I was like, "Come, let's have some fun." So that was definitely a good moment for me. It was like the ocean waves and the seagulls and me channeling SPB with my doggy on a hike. It was a good time.
Somebody on Twitter was talking about like how, and this is like, that's another thing, you know, like all of social media has been full of people just talking about their own personal experiences with him, you know, not just meeting him, but like their reaction to his songs and his music. Like, that has been amazing, and the little personal stories that everyone has had. And one of the things that somebody said, and I think she's actually Bengali, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering correctly, but she said that when she was little, like, she would listen to the songs and, you know, like Maine Pyar Kiya and all these things in Hindi. And she didn't speak any English, but she knew like the little bits of like English in his songs, you know?
Which are my favorite bits. These are my favorite.
Mine too. I love them.
And so she would just like repeat it. So he would just say those things, and her somebody asked her dad like, "Oh, she speaks English," and her dad said, "No, she speaks SPB," which is so cute. Like, she didn't even know what she was saying, but you know, she just responded so much to his voice saying it and the emphasis he put on it, and he was just so charming. And he, like, you know, like, people get older and their voices sort of deteriorate over time. But the thing is with SPB, his voice still sounded exactly the same. Like, you know, people were putting up all these videos of shows that he'd been on, like, as recently as last year. And he sounded exactly the same as he did, like, you know, 10, 20 years ago. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's also just unfortunate that, you know, like, we... like people like me that only know him from Hindi songs, we hadn't heard his voice in a while, you know. I think the last one was probably Chennai Express, which a soundtrack which I don't remember anything about. But for me, he's really like, you know, that he was Salman Khan's voice, you know. So I was just like I was like, Salman kahan hai? Salman kahan hai? Where is his damn, you know, eulogy? But then Salman is Salman, you know, he can't write that, you know, poetically or beautifully, or like, imagine if it was Shah Rukh, you know, he would write like this huge, beautiful thoughts about what it meant. But here we have Salman who writes U as the letter, not as Y-O-U. So it was just kind of like you wanted to, as a fan, feel, you know, that pain, him sharing that pain. But it wasn't there. So, and also just not having him in the cinema for a while, it feels like, you know, like a friend that you haven't been in touch with for a while, and then now you hear you've lost him, and there's this weird kind of feeling. So, and I tend to, like, especially this year, I don't, like, I know, Sujoy, you spend the day listening to his songs, and I don't do that. I can't do that. I have to create I can't lean into my grief like that. It's just not the way I work. So I was just kind of thinking about, like, you know, the songs I like and things like that, but I didn't actively listen to them because I feel it might just be too painful. So yeah, but it's very sad. Like, I don't know if even we should do, like, you know, our favorite songs or anything like that. I don't know. I didn't even like all of his songs were kind of my favorite songs.
Where do you start?
Where do you start with 40,000 songs, right? So I know our friend Ashanti Omkar did an amazing tribute on BBC that got a lot of traction, and people were saying, Indian media haven't even done a tribute like the BBC has done. I saw that tweet kind of going around, and she knew him personally, so that's always kind of a cool connect that she had all of those great stories. But also Indian media is very, very busy with chasing drugs at the moment, so rest in peace, SP Bala. What else can we say?
No, I'll just miss him. But here's the thing, like when we say that we'll miss him, we won't actually miss him because he is basically immortal. Like there's no way that I'll forget his voice or his songs. Like I listen to his songs on a daily basis. Like it's not even that he died and therefore I started listening to his songs. There's not a single day in my life that I don't listen to at least one SPB song in like Tamil, or actually Tamil more than Hindi. And I know he's sung in like Malayalam and Telugu and all those languages as well. But for me, it's really Tamil. And I listen to it every single day of my life. And I know I'm not alone. Like there's tons of people like me. And he'll live forever, Yeah. He really will.
Sad. Pitu, I know you're not on Twitter, but are you keeping up with what's going on in like Bollywood at the moment?
Of course. Do you not know me to be the greatest gossip queen?
So what are your feelings about drugs in general? Like you are in California, so
so I am high on life.
Yeah. And no, I was saying you're in California, you also have a lot of plants. And I know when you take pictures, you strategically aim them in the right direction. So how big of a stoner are you, and would you get high with Deepika?
I definitely would not get high with Deepika ever, because the woman would probably burst into tears every 2 seconds, which is my pet peeve with her. Usko to wo saas leti hai to wo roti hai, which I don't like roti shackles. So definitely not Deepika. But the weird thing is like California, I mean, even since like 2015 when I lived back here, everywhere you go, it would be like this weed ka dhuan, especially San Francisco. And my first year in Cali, I remember when I would just be walking down the block and I would smell weed and I would be like, har taraf hai dhuan, dhuan hi dhuan. It was just like these clouds of weed everywhere, and people are like, hey man. And when I first moved here, I was like, why don't people just say hello like a normal person? What is this hey man, But I mean, this is the land of the happy people. But the weird thing is, I am actually the biggest health nut on the planet. I take 7 supplements a day. I work out every single day without fail. So I have actually never taken a single drug in my life. I've never even smoked a cigarette. But if you tell me to take some like strange, bizarre, niche Ayurvedic drug, I will definitely take it. So
you're safe.
So I'm like a misfit over here. Huh?
You're safe from Navika then.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately closer to Akshay Kumar in real life than I am to
Achha, you also drink Gomutra, Pitu? Is that what
No, I do not. I'm an Angrezi Olad, so I drink Earl Grey. This is like a very common tana in India, by the way, for me.
What?
Angrezi Olad.
Because Angrezi wala, because my mother drinks, that chai where I tell her ki, in her chai she puts lemongrass and ginger and patani what all nonsense, fennel seed, and I'm like, tum na ek kaam karo, tum sabzi mandi jaake Khandaan, tomato lo, wo bhi dal do apne chai mein. Wahi reh gaya hai, chili bhi dalo tum, bhaji bana do uski. And I have my little Earl Grey sachets and I drink my Earl Grey black, and my mother and my Massey, at least once a week when I'm in India, they have to make this tana, like, look at each other and be like, Angrez chale gaye, aulad chhod gaye. I'm like, I am your aulad. I'm sorry, I don't drink chai.
Actually, talking about like chai, like, I have this Gujarati friend who makes like masala chai, and she makes like proper like masala chai, like masala, like masaledar chai, and
which is like boiled for 1 hour.
And she was in Manchester for university, and she made friends with this Pakistani dude, and she was like, "Chal, come home, like I'll make chai." And he got like super excited, like, "Ha, chai piyenge." And he came home, and she made him the chai, and he took like one big gulp, and he was like, ये चाय इतनी तीखी क्यों है?
Yeah, no, that is, I call it sabzi mandi chai. That is, buy sabzis in wholesale, put them in your chai wali chai. Terrible.
There was a video circulating on Twitter, right, of that lady making masala chai, and she's like, promoting her recipe book of chai.
There's a recipe book of chai?
Yeah.
What in heavens is that?
I know, right?
Indian Americans, yeah. Like,
oh, the turmeric latte crowd? Acha.
No, her kettle was transparent. That's how gory she was.
Oh.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask about Deepika more than the chai treatment. I like the deviation, how we went to where it कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच गए हम.
सब्जी मंडी पहुँच गए हम.
सब्जी मंडी ले गई तू. Oh God. But yeah, I don't know. Do we want to talk about what's going on there or not really? Or really. I was actually on the BBC. That's what actually. The story has become so big that the BBC Asian network asked me to come on and give my input about it, which didn't go well because people. Sorry. So normally when I give you behind the scene thing, the producer calls you and asks you, what are your opinions about these things? So I kind of just give my opinion, and the idea was, has your opinion on Bollywood changed because of Sushant Singh Rajput's passing and these revelations? And I was like, no, why would that change my opinion? Like, I know that they're all on drugs and I know they were all in nepotism, so I don't know what would change. So I come on the show, I talk about it for like 10 minutes with our friend Harun Rashid, and then like the producer puts me online and they say like, Asim, can you hold up, because there's a lot of callers calling you and they want to debate with you on the radio what's going on. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, sure, it's Harun's show, so I'll hang around. And so all of these people started calling in and like, we don't agree with Asim, which was amazing. So I just felt like I threw a Molotov cocktail in Harun's show and then slowly walked away. But yeah.
But what? This was like some big revelation for these people. Do they live under a rock?
Yeah, it was quite interesting. It was like, we put these stars on a pedestal, so they owe us. I was like, how is why do you put somebody on a pedestal, and why do they then, like, I was like fascinated by listening to these people and trying to just understand how their world works. And there was like, I'm fully Kangana fan, everything she does, she's right. And I was like, wow, this is like talking to flat earthers, people that believe the earth is flat, and you can just say whatever you want, they just won't believe you. And it's the same thing. This whole thing has veered toward craziness, and the only revelation is also Sushant Singh was on drugs. And I was like, poor guy, man. Like it, like
No, what's happened is they've managed to vilify Sushant more than anyone else. Like all the skeletons in his cupboard are basically coming out. The man has like no privacy left after his death. And what they keep saying is like justice for Sushant, but if they had, like, first of all, like, they're convinced that he was murdered. Now they're just like, no, he was driven to kill himself. And I'm just like, just leave him alone. Like, that's literally the best that you could have done. And I bet his dad must feel like terrible right now. Like, I knew that this was going to happen sooner or later, but like, I can only imagine what his parents must be going through at this moment. And I feel bad for like the people who've basically manipulated his parents into doing all this bullshit. It's just a horrible situation for everybody.
Yeah.
See, this is why the only person I've ever kept on a pedestal is Bapida. He is my idol, my role model, and I will continue with my Bapida worship, who is happy spouting things in interviews like, मैं इंडिया में डिस्को लाया था and मैंने Michael Jackson को moonwalk सिखाया. I want that level of confidence in my life. He is my spirit animal. When I turn 60, I will be same like Bapida.
High on gold.
High on gold, yes.
Straight mainlining gold dust. Straight in the nose.
He even has his COVID mask as like a gold embroidered thing, by the way. And he's so cute. He actually posted his Insta story. And he had a picture of him with his gold mask. And I think it said something to the effect of like, I'm Mappy Lahiri. Like, do you really think my mask wouldn't be gold? And I was like, yes!
Moving on. We had the Yashraj 50 celebration today too. Did anybody follow that news?
I checked out their new logo, which is basically their old logo. So I was like, "What? Where is the new logo? What is this?
50 dal diya.
Was 50 dal diya, and they had like these whole dominoes of their purane films, and all it did was remind me how the mighty have fallen, because they had these little dominoes of like Chandni and Lamhe, and I was like getting excited. I was like, oh Chandni, oh Lamhe, oh Kala Patthar, oh this, and then I'm like remembering all the trash that they've been making, and I was like, this is not putting you in a good light at all.
Oh, Neela Nikki.
Yeah, exactly, Neela Nikki.
Weren't they supposed to announce a bunch of new movies or something?
That was my favorite part, especially because you have a lot of these gossip journalists that have been like for months hyping up this event. Like this was going to be, the MCU level of we're going to do 18 movies in the MC universe and this is going to happen with that. And, Salman and Shah Rukh are coming together and this is happening and that is happening. And basically it was a logo reveal. I love that. I don't know. So there's really nothing that happened. Maybe in the next few weeks they'll be announcing some movies. I think there's something about Pathaan, Shah Rukh's new movie, that got out, and then I think a lot of Salman Khan fans are hoping for the next Tiger movie too. Me included, obviously. But nothing else, right? Nothing else except I also like that when the dominoes was falling, the third domino was Dhoom 3. Did you notice that?
A crowning achievement.
I think it's one of their biggest grosses, right? So
yeah,
it made bank.
Yeah.
This one, Amir Khan he resumed shooting for Lal Singh Chaddha. Bebo and him started shooting for that. That movie, I'm like I do not want to watch that movie.
No.
I call it Lal Singh Chaddi.
Of course you do.
Yeah. I'm a very witty person, Sujoy. Don't envy me. It is God-given.
Very soon you'll be telling us your Sohel Khan Chaddi story as well.
Yes! It was simultaneously the high point and the low point of my life.
Anywho.
Did you guys watch anything else this last week?
We saw the trailers, right?
Yeah. Did you watch those trailers?
Yeah.
So we had a few. We had 3. I don't know if we wanted to talk about all 3 of them. We did.
I want to know Pitu's thoughts on Khaali Peeli.
Oh yeah, I do too.
अपन बोले तो फुल धमाल और ये हीरोइन फुल झोल फुल बवाल। अब ऐसे कॉम्बो में लफड़ा तो हो ही गई ना।
निकल यहाँ से।
सब मैं भी आदेश।
ए तू कहाँ जा रहा है? तू निकल ना यहाँ से।
Did you watch it?
Oh God. Okay, so I have mentally banned anything starring Ananya Panday because she's so irritating. I just feel like it's Chunky Pandey in drag, man. So no, that is very much not my cup of tea. And that Beyonce Sharma Jayegi, hey Bhagwan. I love that they think that just by changing the spelling of Beyonce, like C ka S kar diya, they're like, chalo, now we are no longer in the wrong. I'm like, are you serious? I can't with them. I just can't.
They actually changed it to Dunya now. Like it went from like Beyonce with a C to Beyonce with an S to Dunya in like record time.
So terrible. Like how, I just do not understand how that even got asked. How was that okay? Oh my God, I can't.
Did you see the trailer?
No, I blocked it out. I saw like a little bit and then I was like, no, dafa ho ja meri nazron se.
It was like interesting because like I could kind of see like she's I don't know, like, did you guys feel like she was modeling her look on Bebo from, what is it, Chameli?
Oh, Chameli. Okay.
Yeah.
Chameli?
Like, she has that same, like, sort of, like, look that Bebo has in that film, I feel. Like, I feel like it was a take on that.
Like a streetwalker look?
Yeah, like she's like a bar dancer or something.
Okay.
Oh.
And then she steals a bunch of money and she hops into Ishaan's, Khaali Peeli. And then...
as one does, yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, Ishaan gets, like, basically embroiled in whatever she's planning. And then it's basically they're, like, on the run from all the bad
I feel like
guys.
there's been such a rash of these, kisi ka paisa churaya, now you're on the run kind of films. Like, Loot Case was like that. And then there was another one. I forget the name. Same concept. Like, they steal money from some bad guys or whatever. So what is with this rash of, like, stealing money? Is that something I should be looking into doing?
I think the world we're living in, that's the only way you can be rich is if you steal it. Like, there's no other ways to become rich. So
Eat the rich.
I kind of like the trailer, to be honest. I mean, like, this is the kind of, like, what I need at the moment. Like, just nonsense and fighting and dancing and singing and ek ladki and ek ladka. I'm kind of okay with it. Like, I don't necessarily want this ladki and this ladka, but I'll take this ladka and ladki because that's the only thing on offer at the moment. So
yeah, it's not like anyone is giving you Beyonce anyway. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of like, I like the jam and the energy of it. It feel like almost like old school Bollywood. Although I'm not like, because we were talking about Tehes Nehes last time, the song, and I've been rewatching the song a few times because I do like the song, and it seems like nobody tells Ananya Panday where to look. She's like looking in the wrong direction all the time. She's like slightly up, slightly high, or maybe she just get distracted by shiny things or something. I don't know.
No, she has those rabbit, she has that rabbit look on her face, like, this is what I mean. Like, she's just sort of slightly unfocused.
Yeah.
When she's
Amrita, I have to ask you to clarify. Do you mean rabbit as in the animal, or do you mean rabbit as in like foaming at the mouth? I'm very confused.
Both.
Because both sound alarming to me.
No, but it's funny because like that same kind of rabbit expression she also has on the accent she's doing, because it's like they're doing both like a street lingo kind of accent, right?
Very tapori,
Yeah, very tapori, and it's the same. Like, it just seems off when she's doing it. Like, if I would try to do it, it was like something clearly you've never spoken in your life, and now you have to do it, and the amount of dialogue coaching you got was not enough. That's how I generally seem to feel about Naya Naya Panda. Like,
Naya Naya Panda.
yeah. So, Sujoy, man, did you watch the trailer? Did you like it?
I have watched it, I think, and I've forgotten about it. So that's how much I remember all this disposable content at the moment.
There was an article by the lyricist though from the song Beyonce Sharma that he was like really sorry and stuff like that, and he didn't see it coming, and he has blind spots. So it was quite. I think it was posted on Film Companion, but I'm sure nobody read it except me.
No.
Yeah. So let's not talk about it. People can check it out, Film Companion. We're not going to send any traffic to them. They should send traffic to us.
ब्याह कर लेते हैं, उसके बाद एक बार रेस्टोरेंट खुल जाए तो उसको भी चलाएंगे और अपनी लाइफ को भी.
हमें एटलीस्ट 1 साल तक इस तरह मिलना चाहिए, एंड देन वी शुड टेक अ डिसीजन.
और अगर 1 साल बाद ऐसा ना लगा तो
नहीं करेंगे.
आपका नाम गीता होना चाहिए था.
क्यों?
कर्म कर, फल की चिंता मत कर.
Did anybody watch Ginny Weds Sunny? I don't know. I felt like this might be.
Oh, the Yami Gautam one.
Yeah, Yami Gautam.
Yummy Gautam.
Is it Yummy? I don't know how to say her name.
Yummy, Yummy.
Yami.
Yeah, we're gonna take it from like Asim. But no, like I'll watch anything that has like Vikrant Massey in it because like he's just I like him so much. And she's not bad. Like she's not like a bad actress.
I like Yami. People don't like her.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't. But
why?
I think she's fine.
Why don't people like her?
I don't know if people dislike her. I think people are just meh towards her. Like me. Like I feel very meh towards her. Like she's like the Yami of this generation. मतलब वो है तो भी ठीक है, नहीं है तो भी ठीक है. मतलब मेरे को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Although I did like her in Bala. I mean, it was a terrible movie, but she was the only good thing in Bala.
So good. She played that TikTok small town.
Yeah, the TikTok star.
Yeah, she was so good.
And why do you like Vikrant Massey, Amrita?
He's just a good actor, yeah. And he has that it factor, you know, like it's just, I don't know, there's just something about him that's like very charismatic. I really like him.
You know, he thoda sa reminds me of KK Menon.
Yeah, little bit.
Right? Like that Hazaro Khwaishe ऐसी era KK Menon. Like he gives me that vibe.
Just like a younger, like a boyish version.
And a non-angry version.
See, I watched the trailer and I was like, this is why you shouldn't get like these artsy guys to be heroes. Like, I don't... like, that was my initial thought. Like, because the trailer is really bad. Like, I don't like the trailer and it didn't even make me laugh or smile and everything just felt off with it. Except I did like Yami in it. I just think she has like a nice presence in the movie. But you know I like pretty people, so that's usually how it usually goes. But I guess that's the flip side for you for Vikrant Massey, that maybe it's just because I saw him just in Cargo and that was such a meh movie that I'm like, I don't know, like the hair is very like Vicky Kaushal in Man Marziyan.
So I thought it was like the movie's vibe was very Ayushmann Khurrana, small town kind of.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of those movies.
Yeah, same. I think that's kind of the vibe they were kind of going for, but except like with a less talented team of writers behind it. Or maybe the trailer is just bad, or maybe this is just a Netflix movie, which if you know, you look at it, this is exactly what the Netflix movie does. It just puts some random people together and AI creates like a plot and then dekh li yaad bhi nahi hai what happened, you know. So maybe that's what's happening with Ginny Weds Sunny. Sujoy, did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
No, you just skipped it.
Sujoy got upset with me because I said that I'm probably going to watch Cargo, which has Vicky Kaushal. I mentioned that twice, and both times he was like correcting me. He was like, it doesn't have Vicky Kaushal, it has Vikrant Massey. I'm like, ठीक है यार, तू क्या विक्रांत मासी का PR है? तुझे क्या पता है? Like if I'm gonna say Cargo has Vicky Kaushal, I'll say it has Vicky Kaushal. Sujoy is like all on top of that.
नहीं यार, गलत बात है.
Sujoy is just like correcting people on the internet.
Yeah, Sujoy is basically an uncle.
इसीलिए मुझे चैन नहीं है.
But actually.
So did you watch Cargo then?
No, I didn't. I thought about it, but then I saw like a little bit of it and I was like, ye kya ho raha hai? And then I didn't want to watch it, so then I watched like a show about a serial killer, which is really more my speed anyway.
You didn't even watch Class of 83 because that's like the Deol.
What, with Uncle Bobby? No. I'm a Sunny fan, not a Bobby fan. If it had Sunny Paji playing anything, I would have watched it. Student bhi chalega. Anything Sunny Paji plays, I watch. My loyalty to the Deols does not extend as far as Bobby is concerned.
And Aisha. Is Aisha in the Deols?
I don't consider her. My Deol fandom begins and ends with Sunny Paji.
Ah, okay. So you're like Dharmender. You don't even consider Aisha to be a Deol. Sujoy, man, what did you watch?
I watched Abhay, which is the Z5 show with Kunal Khemu.
क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? क्या हुआ है तुम्हारा? मकसद क्या है तुम्हारा?
मैं कब से तुम्हारा इंतजार कर रहा था.
चाहते क्या?
12 घंटे एक बच्चा. 12 घंटे.
I watched all of season 1 and whatever has aired of season 2 so far, and it's quite surprisingly well made. It's about this really brooding police officer called Abhay something in Uttar Pradesh. And he is basically the one guy to go to who, when things don't go right and you want results to, to catch all these unscrupulous serial killers. And there's lots of crime happening in UP. And it's really, really graphic and very gratuitously violent. And if you don't want sleepless nights, then you should avoid this show.
Nice casual viewing, light viewing, halka pulka.
Yeah.
It's got Chunky Panday in one of the season 2 episodes, and it's more like a Monster of the Week kind of a show format. There's an overarching storyline with one nemesis kind of a character in the season 1 episodes, and there is another in season 2 played by Ram Kapoor, who is really good. But then with each episode you have one case to solve also. And in one of those episodes, Chunky Panday plays one of the serial killers who's got this concept that if he eats brains, then he will become wise. And he has a moment when he's wearing like a barber's apron and he's trying to cut this guy's head off. And he's dancing to Bol Bole Bol from Trimurti. It's like a cinematic magic kind of a moment for me. It was fun.
And you're watching this on Z5, I imagine.
Yes, right? It is on Z5.
Yeah. The full फायदा ले रहे हो तुम अपनी subscription का, हाँ? जो भी है देखो. What have you been doing, Amrita? Have you been watching anything?
I saw the new Sohla show on Binging with Babish on YouTube. If people like to watch cooking shows, then I highly recommend. I think it's called Stumped with Sohla. I think that's the new show is called.
I think, Amrita, you have to give a bit of context to what happened.
Sorry. So what happened was...
Bon Appetit fucked up, basically.
Yeah, there's this magazine called Bon Appetit, and they have this YouTube channel, and it was really doing well, like, over the last 1 year. Like, they had, like, all these people in their test kitchen, because they test out recipes, and they started filming these shows with all these various characters from their test kitchen, and it was doing really well on YouTube. And then, like, earlier this year, one of the newer hires, which is Sohla El-Waylly, who is this Bangladeshi American chef, and she's super successful, like super talented, and she used to work for Serious Eats earlier, and then she got hired by BA, and she's kind of spoke out about basically racism, because the editor of the magazine was revealed to be like super problematic. And then she started talking about like the culture at Bon Appetit and at Condé Nast in general. And she said that basically all the black and brown people, well, there aren't any black people, but they got in like a couple of freelancers in. And these people were paid like peanuts, and like the people on staff weren't even paid. So, like there were a couple of freelancers who worked for the BA YouTube channel, like Priya Krishna, and then there's this other lady whose name I can't really remember, shame on me, but they were paid something like $400 or $800 or something per video, whereas like for example Brad Leone, who has like the It's Alive series for them, he makes something like 1.2 million over the course of his contract. So it's just giant disparities in pay. And Sohla wasn't even getting paid anything. Like she was hired as like an assistant editor or something. So she was making something like, I think like $35,000 or $40,000 in New York City, which is ridiculous for somebody of like her experience and her input. And they were also using Sohla in pretty much every video.
Yeah.
And they were, like she was the brown face. And it was really clear in every single video that she was the most talented chef. And everybody in that kitchen knew it. And everybody was using her expertise. And like, she would sometimes talk about these things and the rest of them would be like, I don't even know what that means, but it sounds super smart and you clearly know what you're doing. So then it all blew up and, like everybody got involved and the channel sort of went on hiatus. And BA, instead of like being like, oh, that's right. Like, clearly there's an audience out there that really appreciates her and the other brown people and black people. And like, maybe we should diversify our content a little bit. Basically just, fluffed it. And eventually, like, all the brown and like all the people of color who were making content for BA were just like, you know what, we're not going to do the videos anymore. So have fun with your all white YouTube channel. And then even like the white people, like a bunch of them were like, no thanks, like we don't want to be part of that thing. So I don't know I think they're going to start making videos again from next month, I think. So it's basically like a lot of the fan favorites aren't coming back. And so Binging with Babish is this other super successful food channel, and and Babish actually has like more subscribers on YouTube than BA does. And
just to say, also, I don't know if you mentioned this, but Bon Appetit is owned by the Condé Nast Group, right? Which is like a mega huge press conglomerate with millions and millions of dollars behind him.
Right.
And next to that, you have Babish, who's like a guy with a camera.
Yeah, literally. And Babish basically has been poaching BA talent for a while now. Like, he hired away Brad's cameraman a few years ago. And like, he has like an eye for talent, and the food scene in New York is like pretty small, and everybody knows each other, and people know who's like a good person to work with and who isn't. And obviously he's not a dummy, so he saw Sohla, and Sohla guested on his show a few weeks back, and I guess they just started talking and they figured things out, and now Sohla's going to be making videos for Babish, and she's made like 2 videos so far, and both of them, like, her latest episode was basically, she needed to make a 7-course tasting menu out of convenience store food. And it is insane, the things that she does. You know, like, her level of expertise is just, it's out of this world. Like, I had so much fun. Like, it was like a 30-minute episode, and I just sat and watched every single moment of it. So, well done, BA, for like, washing your hands out of like the most talented chef in New York City right now that everybody wants to watch, and like saving your, I don't know, couple of $1,000s for, and missing out on like God knows how many thousands in revenue. So, well done, racism.
Also, it's weird because if you look at BA on Instagram, they have been like posting so many Indian dishes, like just back to back. It's like, oh, here's kande pohe. Oh, here's chonk, a way of making dal. Oh, here's this pakode. And I'm like, what is suddenly happening? Like, is this like you're just like going in the opposite direction now? Okay, like, we love brown food, we love brown people. It's like, okay, settle down.
But
I will say that Indian food is kind of having a moment right now. For whatever reason,
Yeah.
Like, I see, because Food 52 is this other like sort of test kitchen sort of channel, and they've been doing all kinds of weird things. Like they've been doing like Samin Nusrat was doing like sabudana khichdi in the New York Times. And Food 52 was doing like pongal and khichdi, and I was just like,
someone else did upma, like one of the other major people. I was like, what is with all of you people making all of my breakfast items?
I think even Priya Krishnan was on Food Network the other day. She was wearing like pav bhaji, a very terrible version of it, but hey, still. But it is a fascinating conversation that's happening with, like, also there's the fact that like minorities can only do minority cooking online, and they are never allowed to just, go, make Gora food or Chinese food. They have to stick to their ethnicity, whereas the white people, they can just cook whatever they want, and it's this amazing discovery that they've done, which was a huge issue with a lot of these cooking shows that are going on. I was watching that video too yesterday, and I really like watching all of Babish's content in any way, which is now not even Binging with Babish, it's the BCU, I think, the Babish Culinary Universe, which I think is kind of cool. He did it better than Yashraj did, actually. But it's like yesterday, I do find that Wheel of Fortune thing that they're doing at the start, it's kind of awkward. They've not really found their footing yet with it. Also, they have a very distinct, different personality. And also, Babish is not compelling on screen, I find. Like, his voice, and he hides. So now he has to step in front of the camera more. I don't know if that works, but I'm fully supporting these guys. But the video yesterday was like convenience foods, and my thing is like, before going to sleep I watch a few cooking videos. It puts me, it calms me down, and it's my routine, and then it also gives me an idea what to cook next day. So both of those things together. But then she gets like all of these stuff from convenience store, and she's like, I'm gonna make a foam. And I was like, wait a minute, okay, ye main aaram se dekhunga. I cannot do it. This is stress me out at night. That I'm not on this level. So I shut it down, and I'm gonna watch it later on because it is 40 minutes. But I'm really, really happy about that she joined Binging with Babish, and also, hopefully financially it'll help her, because I'm sure they have an equitable deal more than what these big groups are doing, which is basically just like misusing these people, which is unfortunate. Now, have you been following Sujoy a bit of that, or you're still just fully on board with the Bong Eats, which Bong Eats has also stopped, it seems like, no?
Yeah, they are not as regular as before, I think. But I'm not following any food channels at the moment right now. I'm trying to not eat as much, basically. I've gained a lot of weight. I mean, Asim has seen me in the last couple of weeks, and I've gained a lot of weight.
Let's next time we'll talk about workout channels. Maybe that could motivate people. Then. Oh, Pitu, we have you here. Why do we need a workout channel when we have you here?
Exactly.
Pitu, you can carry on for the next 2 hours.
I am that awful person that goes to restaurants and makes comments about their gains and wants to show people their muscles. And then, of course, I have to say Salman Khan's iconic line, muscle dekha hai, muscle ke rakh dunga. I said that on date night to my husband, and I was wearing this beautiful sari, and he just looked at me like, who is this mad woman I've married?
Yeah, again, me and Pitu are very much on the same page with these kind of things. We're working out 5-6 days a week and still complaining.
No, I work out 7 days a week. Speak for yourself.
Oh yeah, well, only 5 I do, okay?
Yeah, you're a slacker.
So, Pitu, this is like awesome to have you on this one, and we're continuing the conversation for the next episode where we're going to be choosing your pick of Hello Brother. Where can people find you online?
They can follow the awesomeness, that is me, on Instagram at Pitu Sultan, and also at kapow_with_Pitu. I know it's a very awkward name, but that's my vlog on YouTube as well as on Instagram. So follow me.
It's a while, no? You've not posted something on Kapow, or have I not?
Yeah, because I'm like having a lot of writer's block.
Oh, okay.
Ideas to hai, lekin I don't know what to do. I'm having a moment. Leave me be.
I think the Khandaan crew understands you completely, because हमारे पास भी बहुत सारे idea होता कुछ नहीं है.
हाँ, मैं बस नील नितिन मुकेश के videos देखती हूँ और अपने आप को inspire करती हूँ, because like he's doing concerts and पता नहीं अपने मन में, so yeah, maybe some of his great talent and amazingness will rub off on me.
Sujoy, where can people find you online?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at 93k.
Amrita?
You can find me on Twitter at AmritaIQ, and also on Instagram and YouTube at Amrita by the Book.
I'm at Asim Bernie. I'll add the link to my BBC Asian Network appearance, but although it's not, I wasn't there for a long time. For the amount of shit I created, I really wasn't there for a long time enough. I'm also going to be at, oh man, I should have thought of this better, but the YEG Edmonton Literary Festival, I think it's called. I'll put the right notes in there, and I'm not sure if it's going to be like Lit Fest Yeg Pot Fest. I'll add it. It's on the October 1st. I'm going to be appearing talking about Bollywood podcasting, and if people can attend it, it is free. It's a free event. So if there's a link later on, I'll post it because I don't know when this episode is going out. So I'm going to be there. Otherwise, you can drop me an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com and follow me on Twitter. And thanks for listening, guys.
Khandaan podcast on the X Green. Girl, you're much